Yorkshire here in Charlotte Low. They know. He is. That means we're going to talk to my man over there in Memphis, Tennessee. It's my man, J.C. Smith, the king of karaoke at Clicks, Memphis. What's good, my brother?
Man, what's going on, Boss Beckler? How you doing, bro?
Man, can't complain, bro. Great playoff weekend and great NBA fights we're going to discuss here shortly. I'm loving how the NBA is coming to WWE right in our face.
Yeah, it's becoming a league of fake tough guys, and I guess after Young and the rest come on, daytime soap operas, then you watch the NBA, man, because it's its own daily soap opera now with Chris Paul leading a charge in the Clippers locker room, and Aaron O'Flalo throwing wild punches that didn't even connect. So, it's crazy right now in the league, man. But it's becoming must-see TV, not because the action on the court. It's all melodrama that's been going on across the league so far the last 2 years.
Let's set this up, guys. The Clippers and the Rockets on MLK Day of all days now. MLK Day, who was non-violent, a great man. Now, I must say, MLK Day, I'm never going to the Lorraine Motel. I don't want to take an L either. I'm just being free. I don't want to go there. I'm scared to go there. I don't want to be nowhere near that. But y'all who go, more power to you. Boss man's scared. He wants to take an L. I'm going to be real with you. But on MLK Day, you're going to have a all-out brawl almost go down after Austin Rivers, who should not be talking junk. His daddy got him his money, JC and John. We know that. And Patrick Beverly, we know he really a gun. Trevor Ariza wasn't hitting it for no dude in Austin Rivers. And then Blake Griffin gonna elbow Mike D'Antoni, the coach. And then you got CP3 getting him Blake about that and calling him a female dog and saying F you multiple times. And then after the game, because the CP3 knows the secret backway to the passageway to the Clip locker room from the Vince locker room in Staples, they have Clint Capella, a guy from Switzerland who's neutral, knocking the front door. Trevor Ariza, James Harden, Chris Paul, Gerald Griffin, y'all getting the back door. So I get all three Rivers and maybe Blake Griffin. And the LAPD was called so that nothing would escalate any further. Now, if this isn't a WWE soap opera or a script or too real to be true, I don't know what it is, JC and John. There's some crazy stuff they had to make. Click Capella knock on the front door, get them distracted, they come in the back door and get them. Like, for real. But it's 13 dudes versus 4 dudes. Y'all wasn't gonna win. So, good plan on the surface, but not in theory and execution, though.
It's hilarious, man, when you think about it. And a couple points that you mentioned there, as far as Chris Paul, knowing the underground tunnel, the underground railroad to get to the Clipper locker room. And then also Capella being from Switzerland, no pun intended, but isn't Switzerland like a neutral country anyway?
Neutral.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's like a sovereign country where they're neutral. They don't get in any wars or anything like that. So, it's crazy that he be the guy, to go over there and knock on the locker room with it like everything's all good. But yeah, it's crazy, man. And like I said, and I really think this all started, as far as the league kind of going towards soap opera, melodrama stories, each and every night. I think it's kind of really started, you can point to LeBron and everything, going back to Cleveland or whatever, but like this level of drama that's going on, I think you have to go back to KD and Russ. I think those guys kind of really, really kicked it off to where, we're tuning in more so, we want to see what's going on in the court, but, behind the scenes, it's becoming, way more interesting now.
See, I wanted to break it down from 2 different levels, okay? The first level is being, I think the fighting is not necessarily good for the league, but the overall premise of kind of having these backstories, guys don't like this guy and this guy has this backstory, so on and so forth, is good from an entertainment perspective. It keeps fans interested. It makes for good chatter for shows like ourselves, national, all over the place on TV, radio, internet. It makes for good publicity as long as it doesn't get out of hand, right? So as long as these things are kind of playing off and it's harmless, no harm, no foul, it makes for good newspaper, radio, television fodder for us to talk about. I think it's good for the league in that regard. Now, the other way I wanted to break it down and ask JC is, and you too, boss man, it seems like, and JC, you alluded to this earlier by saying some of these guys are just fake tough guys. Back in the day, you had guys like Charles Oakley, right?
Who would go?
Mm-hmm.
Who would go? Bill Lambier, who would clothesline you.
Gary Coleman.
I mean, you had dudes out there. This was no fake tough guy league. Like, the league was a man's league. Like, if you went to the paint, you probably were going to end up on your back. And it wasn't this, ticky-tack foul where I make a swipe at you going down the lane and I get called for contact and, it's an and one situation. Like, if you were going to get an and one in the old league, you were going to pay for that and one. Like, they would foul you so hard that you probably couldn't shoot the free throw. That was their goal. Like, stated goal, hey, I'm gonna hack you so hard, you're gonna be feeling it when you shoot that free throw. So that was that's the difference from then to now. And I wanted to get both your takes on that because we all grew up in that age of watching the games. I mean, the Knicks, Celtics used to get into it. Lakers, Celtics used to get into it. Pistons used to get into it. Basically anybody they played. Rodman was a punk, but he would throw. I mean, it was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, like I said, as far as, today's players, nothing's going to get out of hand because these guys, they don't want to fight. And even you saw with Aaron Aflalo, even though he threw that wild punch, he had his head down. He was really not aiming, not trying to hit the guy. He just wanted to act tough, look tough, and throw a punch.
Like, nobody's squaring up, right? Like, nobody's squaring up.
Nobody wants that smoke, as
right.
Kids say. Today, nobody really wants that, but they want to act tough and look tough and create these little soap operas, melodramas. Like you said, as far as back in the day, that was my favorite era. The 90s, man. Seeing the Bad Boys, seeing those Knicks teams of the early 90s, like those guys, you had problems with those guys. If they didn't like you, you said something, you did something on the court, they were going to see you either on the court or after the game, and it was going to be a problem. These guys now, okay, they mad at each other for about 2 seconds, and then after the game, a couple of days later, they're cool again. Like, that's what it's all about now. You got to look the part. You don't have to act the part anymore.
Well, and JR, I just wanted to throw this to you. Like, Charles Oakley. Oakley's from my neck of the woods, right? He's Cleveland dude. Cleveland dude. Like, you could just look at that dude and the scowl that he had on his face when he played the game. There ain't no player in the league today that would ever dream of stepping up to that dude on the court if he fouled him hard or said something to him or looked at him sideways. They would cower and go in the corner and hide behind coach or something because it's just such a huge disparity in the level of intensity. And I guess, and I don't know, this is a spin-off, JR, but do you think part of it comes from now that a lot of these kids are coming up, instead of coming up through the asphalt courts, the playgrounds, they're coming up through AAU and, those types of scenarios. So it's maybe more of a structured path to the league.
Yeah,
it used to not be like that.
Y'all travel team together. Y'all know each other. So
it used to not be like that. Like, yeah. It used to be like you played. It was obviously you played high school ball, college ball, whatever. But you learned how to play on the playground. That's where you learned how to play. Now it ain't like that, I don't think.
Nah, it's not. They play in big leagues. They play in nice little controlled environments now, where they're guaranteed playing time. This is another story another day. That's why a lot of guys act like prima donnas. They're guaranteed playing time. The coaches coddle them. They play with their boys, and they don't know how to play non-street ball, unorganized ball, pretty much. That's why the mustard teeth children, the balls, won't be any good. So
JC, well, I also want to ask real quick, JC. Like, can you imagine, both of you guys? Can you imagine playing a pickup game somewhere in New York on a playground and having Charles Oakley be on the other side of you, like on the other team? Like, for real, dude. Like, no, man, I'm out.
I'm shooting jumpers.
I'm out. That's right, man. I ain't driving the paint. No way.
Yo, Charles Oakley hasn't played in 15, going on 20 years now?
Yeah.
He's still scary. Like, he is a scary-looking dude, man.
Yeah, he is a scary-looking dude.
He bought me up them security guards at MSG. he'll still go.
Exactly. Just ask him, right?
Dude, I'm pretty sure that dude was born with the beard.
Yeah, I've been sure the same thing to him. Like, dude, this looks like, he's a badass, man. And I heard stories, outside the court of the things that he's done. So he's not a guy to mess with.
Listen, I'm telling you, I know the neighborhood where my man grew up. I know it well, and the stories you heard, I'm gonna say are probably 95 to 99% true. 99% true.
You better believe it. Now, guys, I'm gonna finish up a story. Last week's story was crazy with the OB doctor and the pastor, and that was crazy. But this week, it's still in church, but it's not what we think it is. A Florida man was arrested after spraying the whole church game night with bullets. After, quote, a man let release some gas during the game of Twister and tried to get a copy deal on his woman during the game of Twister. He came back in the church and sprayed them all with bullets because of it. Shot the game right up in church.
JC, whatever happened to bingo night, bro?
I know, right?
Now it's like Twister night. Like, Jesus.
Like, there's more layers to these stories. I don't know what's going on with the Baltimore in 2018, man.
My man got so offended by some gas, and somebody, listen, I get it. You don't want to throw some hands if somebody touches on your girl or your wife, but he came back with a chopper and started blowing it up, dude. Like, my man, just tone it down a little bit, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And where is this happening? What is this?
Florida at church game night.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
The home of all the great Boston airport stories. You're right.
And we got a bonus for you. Florida man caused a wreck on I-95 after, quote, frozen iguanas came back to life that he got put in his car. What happened was, guys, that, in Florida, the iguanas, when it gets on top of church temperature, they freeze. They just shut down body-wise. They're not dead. They look dead, but they ain't dead. But he put them in his car, his frozen iguanas to cook on the grill. And the car warmed up, and they came to life, and he caused the wreck. All of us to come called around, and he caused the wreck on I-95 in Miami.
So he was trying to make them iguana burgers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man. Jesus. I don't even.
I bet that's crazy, man.
And like,
That's crazy.
how many did he have in there? I get the sense that he had like a couple dozen in there.
37,
and they just, like,
about what the story says. 37 iguanas in the backseat in trunk. Came to life.
Oh, Jesus.
Thought they were dead. They wasn't dead. Iguanas freeze. Iguanas shut down when it gets cold. They shut down. They don't die. They shut down.
Yeah, I used to have one of those things, man. They're pretty cool, but 37 of them, man. You don't want a pack of anything inside of the cab of a vehicle. Okay, whether they're frozen or not, you don't want a whole herd of iguana coming back to life on you. That ain't good.
Yeah, he caused a wreck, and I don't shut down for get this 9 hours.
Damn.
Because my man caused that much of a wreck and had iguanas everywhere. But get this, there was also Florida men arrested for trying to steal the iguanas that came out of the man's car.
Well, of course. I mean, that's just standard operating procedure in Florida.
Yeah.
So
can't pass up free iguana.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Exactly. So, Jay-Z, if you saw an iguana in Memphis, you ain't gonna pick it up, bro. You gonna let it ride?
No, we don't do lizards, iguanas, none of that stuff up here, man.
I feel you. Well, bro, what you got going this week in Clicks, man? You got anything special going on? Is there any things you want to throw out there for the people listening over there in Memphis?
Absolutely, man. Clicks #1 party spot in the city. #1 karaoke crew, Three Kings, man. We do it each and every Saturday at Clicks. We have karaoke idol, kind of like American Idol, each and every Saturday night, man, where we pick a grand prize winner. And, we shower them with praise and gifts and money and all that good stuff, man. But it's a good time, man. Come on out each and every Saturday night. Clicks, billiards, and all that good stuff, man.
No doubt. That's my man, it's been 3-Man Weave. JC Smith, hey, bro, do it again next week. Talk to you, man. You be good, bro.
All right, now.
All right, folks. JC Smith is the boss, man. So 3-Man Weave. We out.
is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting or Twitter at Coach TWill24 or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Bossman Show. I got a great guest for you, a friend of mine on the show. He's a coach at the Canisius Golden Griffs up there in Buffalo, New York. It's my man. When he's downtown with Matt McCall, he's doing his thing up there. Reggie Witherspoon, Coach Witherspoon, how's life up there in Western New York, my friend?
Life is good, boss man. It's a little cold, it's a little snowy, but life is good.
I hear that, Coach. And your team's doing good right now, Coach. 5-1, and you know, in conference play right now. Come off a big one against Monmouth on Sunday, Coach. Your second half was really, really good. That game right there for you guys. So tell me, Coach, what were the key factors for your guys' comeback, trying to halftime and coming out with that fire second half and beating Monmouth by 15 points?
Well, you know what? We got down 13 in the first half, and Monmouth came in and played so hard. And I think it took our guys, you know, they understand how hard you have to play. They're two-time regular season defending champion, and they came in playing like they understood it. And I think it took us for a loop at first. And once we kind of got, okay, well, we gotta come out and play a little harder. We got ourselves back in the game. So after being down 13, we were down 2 at halftime. But I think we had an understanding of just how much intensity we were going to have to play with. And we were able to turn it up defensively a little bit, and then we were able to get some shots. We were getting some shots in the first half, but we weren't playing hard enough to get enough of them. And once we started playing a little bit harder defensively, then we started getting better shots.
So, Coach, as you look into your preparation for this week's games with Manhattan and Iona, are you and the staff going to be stressing finishing games as a big topic of conversation and kind of putting the pedal to the metal to finish teams off down the stretch?
Absolutely, and we've been on about that all year. Now we're going on the road, so the challenge is always bigger on the road because you have to control the game when you can, and not let the crowd get into it, and not let momentum shifts go against you. And home team that really feels like they're out of the game, as evidenced by our situation on Sunday. So what has happened to our team is that we've had spurts where we were really good in possessing the basketball. So we've had a game where we had 5 turnovers the whole game. We had a game where we had only 3 turnovers, which is a school record. But we lost the game. We only had 3 turnovers because we didn't rebound the ball well. Over the weekend, these last 2, especially last one against Monmouth, we rebounded it well, but we turned it over too many times. We are going to need to do both of those. We want to take the next step. Those are things we're going to have to learn to do consistently. We're a very young team. We have to learn these things as quickly as we can.
You got that right, Coach. I tell you, I always got to value that ball. Like I said, whether it be passing the ball, defending the ball, always about the ball. I mean, like you said, Coach, you got to always be about the ball, and your guys I think they'll learn that real soon. You know, coach, my real coach there. Now, let me ask you this now. About your team here, you got Jermaine came through big for you, Isaiah did, and Young Molson did. So if these three guys are clicking on a given night like they were against Monmouth, you feel like your team can pretty much compete with anybody in the country if those guys are on?
Yeah, you know what? They have played very well for us. We've had some guys do things. We've had a couple guys that have played well. Our challenge is to get everybody kind of clicking. We want to be greedy about it. You know, we've had guys that have, scored 20 points or more. We've had probably 4 or 5 different guys do that. But our challenge is we want to get everybody playing well. We want to get, starters, guys coming off the bench. And really, when we started to play better, it was because we had guys coming off the bench. I always tell our guys, listen, be ready. Be ready because you don't know when the opportunity is coming. And when it does, you won't get 3 or 4 minutes to get warmed up. You just have to be ready. Not get ready, but be ready.
Got that right, Coach. And Coach, and for us being ready, Coach, how do you get your guys to be ready for us, their mindset? Are things you're talking to them in one-on-ones, or are you the coach breaking down what you mean by that? You have a young team. So how you going to understand the concept of being ready always, or being here right now? At any point I can come to you.
The biggest thing is I try to challenge them in practice. I try to stay on them and confront them with challenges in practice because those are where you form your habits. What happens with sometimes with young guys that aren't playing a lot of minutes, look, they're on scholarship for a reason. They were good, and they're used to playing a lot of minutes. Now they get to college, and they can get comfortable not playing if you're not careful. They can remove themselves from the situation mentally and just say, well, I'm not playing anyway. And what happens in that situation is they're not ready when the opportunity comes. I try to confront them and get it out in the open. Listen, you're not playing. Okay, you got to make me play. You got to put me in a position where I can trust having you out there. And once I think that we do that, they start to understand. And then I think the other thing is when a guy gets thrown into a game out of nowhere, they know, well, that could happen to me. So I try to challenge them as much as I can because, look, the other team's going to challenge us. The other team's going to challenge guys individually. They're going to challenge our team. So I try to challenge them, and I let them know in front of everybody. You got to put confidence in the coaches. And players think the other way. The coach puts confidence in me, but you have to put confidence in the coach in such a way that he can trust having you in the game. And I think sometimes too often players start to think, well, he's not playing. I'm waiting for him to give me some playing time, as opposed to I'm going to earn it and make him play me. And when you think of it the right way, you can only get better even if you're not playing a lot of minutes.
You got that right, Coach.
Now, Coach, one of the things that go ahead.
I don't want the players to sit back and nobody says anything. This guy's not playing. We all know listen, if the guy is not playing, let's talk about it every day. I tell them it's okay for you to be angry that you're not playing. No coach wants a guy who just doesn't want to play. So let's get everything out in the open. You're not playing. You want more playing time now. Let's see what we're going to do about that, and that can only help our team.
You got that right.
Yeah, what I was going to get into, Coach, was one way to instill confidence, as you said, in the coaching staff is to start doing the things that you need to do on the floor and then stuffing that box score with some stats. Now, JR and I like to look at stats on these teams, especially with the guys like yourself we're going to have on the air. And one of the things that jumped out to us was your balanced scoring and your rebounding kind of jumped out at us. So are those things that you guys try to identify as a staff, not only those two items, but just statistically where you see weaknesses or strengths, identify them, bring them to the attention of the team, and work on those things as you move through the season?
We're working on it daily. I think the balanced scoring part, the better we pass the basketball, the more guys are in position to score, and the better our team is. And on the rebounding thing, we're looking at possessions, really. So we're looking at rebounds, turnovers together. And the hope is that we can win both those categories. So it's really important that we work on them every day, and especially understand the importance of them, and especially understand the importance to have extreme desire in both those areas.
I hear that, Coach. Now, Coach, down here in the South, they don't really know about the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference like I do. So for our listeners down here in the South and outside of the South who listen to the show, could you just talk about the quality of coaching, the quality of teams that is in the MAAC, so people can kind of know what guys are and what you're all about up there, man?
Well, it is a great conference. It's a lot of very good programs, established programs, tradition-rich programs. The northern part of it is us and Niagara University. That's sort of the western swing of the state. And as you go east, you're looking at schools like Siena, and you get to Iona and Manhattan, and then you get to New Jersey part, you got St. Peter's and Ryder and Monmouth. In Connecticut, you got Fairfield and Quinnipiac. And then you have Marist also. So I'm probably leaving somebody off, but it's pretty well balanced conference. Quinnipiac, I probably may have mentioned them. So it's a pretty well balanced conference with a lot of challenges in it. There's no real nights off where you can say, well, even if a team is struggling from a standpoint of wins and losses, if you look at any of the teams in our league that may look like they're struggling, if you look at the scores of the game, you'll say they played a lot of close games, and that's because they're very well coached. So it's a league that the tempo of the games are typically really fast, and it's a league where you a lot of times you'll have four guys on the court, and you see a lot of transition basketball and a lot of three-point shooting.
Now, Coach, up there in Buffalo, the Bills made the playoffs this year. So what was it like when that went down in the city? Because I know the only team that gets more, support and viewership than the Griffs is the Buffalo Bills. So what happened with the Bills in the playoff run this year?
We talked to a longtime Bills fan. It was great to see that. We actually played earlier that day, I believe. I think that was a Sunday. May have been we played Iona, and then the Bills played, and then in Buffalo we had to wait on the outcome of the Cincinnati Bengals game at the Baltimore Ravens, and we needed Cincinnati to win on the road to end the 17-year drought. The city gets really excited about the Buffalo Bills, and this was a surprise because prior to the season, people were talking about, well, maybe they need to tank and get a higher draft pick. But Sean McDermott and his staff and the front office did a heck of a job to pull things together as fast as they did. I mean, it's really unbelievable to see that happen. And the players did a great job staying together and sticking together and putting themselves in a position even to make the playoffs. So because they did this while taking money off of the salary cap. So they traded away some big salaries and acquired some draft picks. And to do that and make the playoffs is very, very rare. So the city was really excited. It was New Year's Eve. So there were already a lot of people that were in a partying mood. And they came back because they played at Miami. And when they got back that evening, it was, a couple thousand people waiting for them at the airport. So it is an exciting time to see the team moving in the direction they're moving in.
Now, Coach, I'm from Cleveland, okay? So you had mentioned tanking. Okay. That's my team's default setting, so we don't actually have to try to tank at all. We just show up, and then we instantly get, top billing in the draft. So, I just thought I'd throw that out to you.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think, again, people sometimes go to where they're comfortable, and I know a lot of Bills fans, typically of late, have been getting really, really excited about the draft. When we get closer to the draft, it's who we're going to draft and this and that, because we've been out of this for a while. In fact, we have a young man on our staff who's 24 years old, so he doesn't remember the Bills going to 4 straight Super Bowls. Doesn't remember the excitement. He was clamoring for. He's from Buffalo, and he was just, man, if we could ever just get to the playoffs. And so I felt sorry. I felt bad for him because being a lifelong Bills fan, and I can go back to when they drafted O.J. Simpson but certainly when they got to four straight, certainly when they got to 4 straight Super Bowls, I was here and it was an exciting time, and the city was really, really excited. So, I was happy for the younger Buffalo Bills fans to be able to feel like their team at the heightened level of relevance.
I hear that, Coach. I asked you about what is my man Eddie Shenatu up there with you? I know he's up there with you. Right on. What's he up there with you?
Oh, Eddie's doing a great job for us in a lot of areas, recruiting, but he's also really helped our team in both from a standpoint of the individual players on the team, as well as helping our team collectively, and particularly from a defensive standpoint, keeping them locked in, and they understand that he's a genuine person. He's a very humble person. He's an extremely knowledgeable person who played the game at a really high level. So he has really, really helped our program.
Now, Coach, they got a team from Warner Robins, Georgia, down a little bit down the road from here in Atlanta, and they got from Anniston, Alabama, which is out 20 street from here. So, will Atlanta be an area you still kind of tap into from being in Chattanooga? You'll still tap into to get guys that's down here wants to come up there and play guys?
Oh, absolutely. We will definitely. We have a young man who's signed already. Will be a freshman with us next year, Merv James, and it's a rich area in talent, and we will absolutely continue to recruit Atlanta.
Which I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you in the Canisius. I definitely look at your scores all the time. Make sure look at your job. But I definitely want to have you on. I know you're out on a good running streak. Let me get Coach on right now. Give some more of that good show karma for him, man. Keep on this streak going here. So I'm happy for you, man, Coach. I really am.
Well, I really appreciate you guys checking on us and thinking about us and exposing our program.
Anytime, Coach. Hey, good luck this weekend. We'll talk to you real soon, man.
Take care.
All right, Reggie Witherspoon here in the Bossman Show, people. Canisius Golden Griffs. Check them out, people.
3.
Fantasy football season is fast approaching, and if you're looking for an edge this season, you need to contact the guys at Draft Day Consultants. The concept is a simple one. Draft Day Consultants takes your requests and connects you with one of their trusted analysts, who then guide you through your draft, whether you just need a sounding board on decisions, or if you need them to conduct your entire draft. Draft Day Consultants has you covered. Every one of their consultants has a proven track record of success, and have conducted hundreds, even thousands of mock drafts. Thanks to this year-round research and analysis, the guys at DDC have an unmatched understanding of player values. So gain an edge on your league mates this season by hitting up draftdayconsultants.com. That's www.draftdayconsultants.com. Now get after it, fantasy footballers.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.
Folks, it's time for your AFC preview here on the Bossman Show. Jared and John here bringing it down for you. And we got the game is coming up, AFC Championship Sunday. Here we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, surprisingly, going up against the New England Patriots in what could be called a surprise game coming up here, John. And I'm hoping personally the Jaguars win, being the Florida man that I am. Even though Jacksonville is not really part of the Florida, if you ask me, I call that South Georgia extended. That's just my personal belief that that's not really Florida. But since allegedly by the drawing of the map there in Florida, I will claim them for this. So Jacksonville Jaguars doing their thing. I know a couple guys on their team, Jalen Ramsey, Barry Church, Marcedes Lewis. So I have some connections there with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're playing New England Patriots, with Tennessee Titans, who I know pretty well. Mike Mularkey, Harry Douglas, Eric Weems, Terry McCormick, Greg Arians. I don't mind Jim White. A lot of guys I know for the Titans. So it's like they beat my buddy, got my man Mike Mularkey fired pretty much. They fired Mike Mularkey with their blowing out of them. John, but I do feel like this. Tom Coughlin has been Tom Brady's kryptonite, John, over the years for them being big games. Even the game they won against the Giants, their first championship year, they played in the championship game. Remember, that last week of the season, the Giants played them so close, and I got confidence from that game and beat them in the Super Bowl in Arizona. When Plexico Burris case for Plexico shot himself like a fool.
Yeah, he did.
So my man went to jail for shooting himself. Himself, people. Himself. But I digress. So Jacksonville has the formula, if you ask me, John. They have speed, young speed. They can rush with four. They really don't blitz. Their front four can get to Tom Brady. And they run those TN stunts and those inside games to affect the quarterback with only four. They don't have to add somebody extra. And on the outside, A.J. Boye and Jalen Ramsey out there covering guys like crazy, and their safeties are hawking in the middle of the field as well, and the linebackers can run with tight ends and sightless receivers. So, looking defensively, John, my question is, do you, as the Jaguars, put Ramsey on Gronkowski? Do you bracket him with a safety and a linebacker, or do you play him with another linebacker? Or how do you mix up the coverage on Gronkowski? Do you just zone him up a little bit, give him different looks? So the key to me in the matchup is how do the Jaguars play Rob Gronkowski?
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with that, and I think that's something that they're probably going to have to use a combination of all the defensive schemes that you just laid out, and they're going to have to kind of see what way the Patriots are deploying Gronkowski in order to kind of figure out what's the best method for them to defend it. Are they running him on, go routes? Are they running him across the middle? Are they running him on curls underneath? How are they trying to free him up so that they can then adjust and combat that defensively? So that's going to be part of the cat and mouse that goes on in any NFL game, but obviously on the big stage here in the AFC Championship game now. To your point about Jacksonville versus New England, I would want to see Jacksonville win this game just because I'm a huge proponent of new blood, and I don't disparage the Patriots because they win so much. They have a great program there, great franchise, and they earn it. They do it the right way. They win. They play good, tough football. They win in all kinds of different ways. If somebody gets hurt, somebody steps up, or they change their philosophy on the run to make it work. So I don't have anything negative necessarily to say about the Patriots and their successful run from that standpoint. But I do like to see fresh blood, and I would love it to see if Jacksonville, could get into the Super Bowl. I think it would be great not only for the franchise, but I think it would be good for the NFL too. Now, Vegas has the Patriots winning this game by 9. They're favored by 9 points. I don't necessarily see it, JR, being a 9-10 point victory for New England if they do in fact win. I mean, Jacksonville is really no slouch in scoring. They're 5th in the league. They scored the 5th most points in the league, and defensively they've allowed the 2nd fewest. So, that's a pretty good combination when you're looking at an AFC Championship game scenario against a team like New England who can score. You got to have a defense to keep them out of the end zone. Well, they've given up the 2nd fewest points, and if you do in fact start giving up points, you have to have an offense that can put points on the board. Well, they've scored the 5th most, so it kind of lines up, fairly well for Jacksonville. As you mentioned, they've got the Coughlin factor, and that's something that could help as well. They're going to be facing an uphill battle. Obviously, the Patriots are, tried and true, tested, battle tested in these situations. The Jaguars are not. So we'll see how it shakes out. The Jaguars, they've been winning games, tough games all year. They've played a lot of close games. So if it were me putting money down on this game, I would bet against Vegas, and I'd take the Jaguars and the points and see how it shakes out. I mean, that's the way I look at it from a betting perspective. Do I think Jacksonville's going to win? Probably, I'd say 60-40 that they are able to pull this out. I think they're probably on the 40% side there. But as the game goes on, JR, you never know what can happen once these games start. And, I'm not sure where you come out on it, but I think New England probably wins this game. But my heart's probably, as a fan of the NFL and looking on, I would probably prefer if Jacksonville were able to take down, the mighty Patriots.
Yeah, I would prefer Jacksonville win because I'm not a fan of Tom Brady, and you know who the biggest Patriots fan who we have beef with every now and again, my Uncle Dave.
Yeah, well, listen. Uncle Dave's already got us set up to run some laps for what we've already maligned his team in his eyes. So, we're already running laps for that.
So, anytime I get to go against Uncle Dave and Uncle Dave's loud, brash Boston ways, I want to do that, and I hope that the Florida man in me and the Florida men going up to New England can get the job done. Having been played in cold weather in Pittsburgh, maybe acclimate to it and get the job done. But I think if we get Brady off the spot, find a way to neutralize Rob Gronkowski, whether it be outside or inside, because I think if you put him outside, you can still put him on Boye or Ramsey inside. You can use the linebackers and the safeties or a slot guy to bracket him. So I feel like Jacksonville has the talent to do it. You have to have the roster and depth to do that, and I think Jacksonville has that depth to do that. So I feel like they can get the job done, like you said. Quarterback-wise, Blake Bortles scares me.
That's what I was just going to throw out there. Like, that's the one thing we didn't talk about. If he goes sideways, JR, that could, it could definitely be a double-digit blowout.
Yes, so Leonard Fournette, have your ankles ready. T.J. Yeldon, Chris Ivory, have your ankles ready, brothers. And Blake Bortles, don't make any mistakes, because if you do make a mistake, I will clown you next week on the show. Just ask Mustard Teeth LeVar Ball how he gets clowned every week here on the show.
There you go.
Blake Bortles is a young dude. He's going bald fast. He took away his hat. He's so bald. He's already going bald, man.
I always wondered that. Sidebar, I've always wondered that about quarterbacks. Like, even football players in general, a lot of them wear their hair short, so you don't really know. But, like, you have your helmet on for, like,
so many hours.
So many hours in practice on the field and blah, blah, blah. How some of these guys have, like, great hair, man. Like, kind of jealous. Like, what's up with that?
Exactly. I don't know, because I know I'm starting to thin. I've noticed my hair's trying to thin out myself, and I'm just 30 years old. I've noticed it myself that my hair is thinning out, so dude, it's not good. My hair, I'm like in LeBron territory, bro. My hair is running away from my face, hardcore, bro. So are you jealous of hair like LeBron is with D Wade's hair? Like, remember how he was jealous of D Wade's hair? His luscious locks, D Wade, he called it.
Oh, that was great. No, man, but you got those kids, especially girls, man. They make you lose a few. That's for sure.
I hear that. Well, folks, AFC preview on the Bossman Show. Check in with next week, see how we did. We hope Jacksonville most likely to be New England. Mark it down. Hopefully, go Jags, Florida men. # Florida man. Florida iguanas for life, baby.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consultant, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
NFC preview, championship preview game. Here we have the Minnesota Vikings, who won on the most craziest play I've ever seen in the game in my life. I enjoyed the celebration because, man, it was a monster up there, man. I love that. They're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, who I was at that game, John, and just say that was a bad day for me all the way around. And Saturday was a bad day for me. And I saw the Falcons lose. I was with the Bird Lady herself. She was disappointed. Trip was not fun back. But being with JC and her made it worthwhile. The Philly fans gave us a hard time. JC's like, man, look, ain't my fault you ain't won no titles, man. I'm a Cowboy. Yeah. Memphis, yeah. He doing the Eagle fans, John. Seriously.
Well, I don't blame him, and I don't expect anything less from JC.
He was like, your boss, Carolyn, it's awful cold out here. I don't get this. My man, we're in Pennsylvania, my man. We're in Pennsylvania. It's not warm here, brother.
You should have known.
Exactly. So, I for the spirit of the Eagles game, Falcons game right here, brother. So the Vikings, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Vikings may become the first team ever to host Super Bowl in their home stadium ever, and makes me think that destiny's on their side, John, because that play. Let's somebody that play for a second. That play, that's the Saints execute the play properly, John. From my football days, that's called cover 2 contain is what we playing. And contain means keep him to the sideline. Now, if they catch the ball and he gets out of bounds, they should let it happen, but fine, whatever. Give us a chance, you know? But this play is called cover 2 contain. They ask them to play it right. And that's kind of what they run what you call John's called circus route. You have a clear out to the flat. You have a go to clear out the safety. Then you have a dig, out kind of corner route underneath it. That's where he digs on the corner. It's called a circus route, John. So they did that, and it worked against the cover 2 contain defense was not played right. So for me, seeing that plus Stephon Diggs, Case Keenum got off that play. Case Keenum got paid. Pat Sherman got the job with the Giants off that, and the Vikings may confirm their team destiny because their defense is top notch and can win in spite of Case Keenum struggles. They can make a play. They have the cover guys. They have the guys in the linebacker level. They can rush the passer with 4 men, along with Mike Zimmer's exotic double A gap blitzes, overload blitzes. He runs off the corners, and sometimes he uses slot blitzes off the corner as well. So, John, defensively, Mike Zimmer, defense to me in my mind, and also that play that they won, man. The Vikings got this, man. But talk about that play a little bit. Just we saw, John, with Stephon Diggs.
Well, you nailed it as far as the execution is concerned and what was called, the defense and the offensive play. But the defensive back, and then JR, his name is escaping me at the moment. But
Marcus Williams.
Williams, correct. Thank you. He just basically forgot the number one rule of situational football, and that is, know where you're at on the field, know what the down and distance are and the time on the clock. And he just didn't keep the guy in front of him.
John, the main word, contain.
Contain.
Cover
right.
to contain,
well,
which means keep him to the sidelines.
He went for the tackle. He went for the tackle, and he didn't need to. All he had to do was, if you got beat on the route, let him catch the ball, let him come down, wrap him up, and stop the progress of the football down the field. That's all you had to do. But he dove in to make a tackle, and he didn't need to. What he needed to do was stay on his feet. And if he got beat by staying on his feet, well, at least you had a chance. Once you dive on the ground, you're done, man. Diggs was gone. There was nobody behind him to help. As you said, the safety got drawn away, and that was that. So from the execution offensively, it was fantastic. Defensively, very poor. And, I mean, that's going to haunt him all through the offseason. And, hopefully he can recover. Those guys have short memories. But, switching it over to this week now, the Vikings aren't really all that much different from the Jaguars in the sense that they have kind of a game manager under center. They've got a stout defense. And from that perspective, you're kind of seeing wins in the same manner. So I think that, obviously Vegas favors the Vikings here by 3 points on the road. Typically the home team gets 3. So they actually, in truth, are saying that the Vikings are good by 6. But being on the road, they're taking 3 of those points away. So they like the Vikings a little more than the line shows. Looking at the flip side of the ball, the Eagles have a pretty solid pass rush. I mean, it's no slouch there. So they could create some issues for Keenum and the Vikings. I think the game stays close. I personally, from a betting standpoint, would take the Vikings to cover. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. Some of that is how that final play is going to carry them into this week. I mean, that's a high-energy play, and that can catapult them not only through the AFC Championship game but into the Super Bowl. And personally, I would like to see a Minnesota-Jacksonville Jaguar Super Bowl. I think that would be a great matchup.
Me too.
And I think that it would be something that would be good for the league. Now, even if it goes a different way, it's still going to be a great game. Obviously, a lot of caliber players out there, high caliber players, quality teams left in the mix. I don't think personally that the Eagles can overcome having Foles under center. I think that the Vikings are probably a little more stable with Keenum and their defense than the Eagles are with Foles and their defensive crew. So I think that the Vikings can create a little bit more havoc and force some more errors on Foles and kind of help themselves in a road matchup. But, it's tough playing on the road. It's definitely tough playing in Philadelphia. And, it's going to be another frigid day out there. Now, obviously, the Vikings are used to playing in those conditions. But still, anything can happen when it comes to, championship game football. But I really think the Vikings are probably the team that I would take in this game. And I would take them to cover if I were a betting man.
And yes, I got with you, John. I want to bring this play to you guys one more time. It's called Circus Go. What that means is, guys, that the wide receiver, the X-receiver on the left is going to run a go route down. He's going to run a 9 route down the field. He's going to clear it out. The running back's going to run like a mid check down. I'll call it linebackers. Then on the circus route on the right side is going to be inside. It's going to be a go. It's going to be a short corner route or a flat route. And Diggs ran that interior or that mid-grade or moderate corner route, which opened up in that when you play cover 2 contain. To properly do that, you should have played cover 3 contain, which means you rush 3 and you drop 5 in the intermediate zone, and you have 3 in the deep zone. That's what kills Circus Go. So I want to show you that kind of football 101 with you guys about that. So always when you watch the games, I know some of you had not played football, might not be deep into it, but watch the plays, watch the routes, watch the defenses. Now, for you guys who are Madden heads, like to play Madden a lot, just look at the playbook in Madden sometimes. So the same plays you see on Madden, that plays the teams running the league for real. I mean, because football is football. There's very few plays that has not been tried before that we know about the football. Most of them have been tried. Now, John, this is what I would do if I was Stephon Diggs. If I was going to be caught in bounds, I would have semi-fumbled the ball so it can go out of bounds, stop the clock that way. Because there's no rule that you can't fumble the ball out of bounds and it makes the clock run off. That's a trick I would have done to save the clock if I got hit in bounds.
Yeah,
lose the ball out of bounds.
Right, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like situational football. You at the professional level especially, like you really have to be aware of everything that's going on around you. And it's not enough to just be responsible for your assignment in those situations. Now, that goes without saying. You got to be responsible for your assignment, but you've also got to be able to look beyond that and say what is coming, what can happen, and what is my plan if X, Y, and Z goes down. If I get beat on this play, how should I react to mitigate the damage to my team? And then that's, I think, where the big mistake was made there. Obviously, you got to stay on your feet. You can't keep the guy in bounds if you're on the ground.
Exactly.
You're really limited in your options there. And whether or not there was supposed to be somebody behind him, I don't think so. I think just like you said.
No, he was last on the fence. He was the cover too. He was the half side, the right side safety.
Right.
So that's why I say you should have played cover 3 contained with a 3-man rush, where you have 5 guys in the intermediate zone, 3 guys in the deep zone.
Right.
That can't happen.
Well, and that, like you said, that was going to be more than likely the last or second last play of the game, depending on what happened. If he were able to get out of bounds or not, and didn't score. Because
John, I'm telling you, when I saw them play a 2-shell, and you have a bunt cell on the right hand side, I said, well, they about to run circus. That's what I said to myself. They ran circus. They ran what I thought they would run, circus go, and it worked out for them, and they won the game on it. I've never seen the circus go intermediate corner beat somebody for a touchdown in my life. I've seen the go route on the backside do it, or the go route inside do it, but never the intermediate post do it.
Well, yeah, and generally speaking, from where they were at on the field, I mean, they had to cross the. It was more likely that they were going to chuck a ball into the end zone for a score rather than underneath and then have it run in for a score. The likelihood of the latter happening was very, very low, and it happened. So, I mean, obviously, there was a mistake made there, but still, like we talked about previously in the segment, Jay, that's the type of play that can propel you to a win not only the following week but the week after. Like that's the type of stuff that a team can really rally around it and build off of in a postseason setting.
And folks, that's been your NFC Championship preview here on the Bossman Show.